The main issue for everyone is that we see ourselves as our thoughts. This stops us from accepting life as it really is and from seeing the truth. We use a lot of energy trying to distance ourselves from unpleasant thoughts once we realize how powerful they are. This is something we all do, especially when we feel stress, fear, or have misplaced anger or worry. When we accept life as it is, we can see reality clearly, without our own interpretations getting in the way. We often struggle because we don't realize that our thoughts are not who we are. Instead, we should learn to observe our thoughts without letting them control us. By doing so, we can live more peacefully and see the world as it truly is. In moments of stress or fear, we tend to cling to our negative thoughts, thinking they define us. This creates a barrier between us and the actual experience of life. However, if we practice accepting our thoughts without judgment, we can free ourselves from this cycle. Accepting life means letting go of the need to fight or change our thoughts and simply observing them. This shift in perspective allows us to experience life more fully and authentically, without the constant filter of our own interpretations. The neutral observer helps you get closer to accepting who you are and deciding who you will become. Accepting life as it is means realizing that life isn't something you need to grasp or gain. It simply exists. To see life as it truly is, you must not add extra meaning or interpretation to events and experiences. A key part of this idea is recognizing that you are who you are. If you can accept yourself, including your feelings, thoughts, and fears as part of being human, you will be able to create great opportunities. Instead of trying to suppress or escape from your feelings and thoughts, acknowledge and accept them. When you have frightening thoughts, don't try to push them away or bottle them up. Accept these thoughts as a natural part of your human experience. By doing this, you empower yourself to handle them better and make room for personal growth. Accepting yourself fully, with all your emotions and thoughts, can lead to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Don't try to push your thoughts away or pretend they don't exist. Instead, accept them as part of yourself. Tell yourself, these thoughts are mine. Let me understand them. Let me accept these strange ideas and be present with them. When you can acknowledge and accept your thoughts without denying or trying to explain them away, you'll find that they will eventually pass. They won't hold power over you anymore. Remember, these thoughts are not who you are. You are simply aware of them. If you can accept them without adding any extra meaning or judgment, you'll see that they will gradually fade away. Many of the intense and distressing feelings we have come from our attempts to control our anxious and fearful thoughts. As we get better at observing our thoughts, we learn to let them go more easily. All of our thoughts are part of being human. It is normal to have the thoughts you do, even if they seem strange, unusual, or weird. Everyone questions their thoughts at times. The real problem starts when we believe there is something wrong with us because of these thoughts. When we judge and label our thoughts harshly, we become overly critical of ourselves. This self-criticism can lead us into a negative downward spiral. Some people do this so often that they don't even notice it anymore. When someone points it out, they fear losing their sense of self and become defensive. They might say they are just being honest or practical. They have thought this way for so long that they believe it's completely normal. What is the significance of frightening thoughts? People often struggle to accept their fears and the physical reactions that come from these fearful thoughts. Instead of acknowledging these thoughts and feelings, they spend a lot of energy trying to suppress and deny them. This is because these frightening thoughts don't fit with the positive image they want to show others. They want to appear good, nice, and well regarded. However, trying to hide these thoughts only increases stress. This is why we often see news stories where people's accusations are actually confessions. They have bottled up a part of themselves that they believe is terrible. Sometimes this part isn't as awful as they think, but their self-hatred leads them to repress it rather than eliminate it. This repression doesn't make the thoughts go away and can lead to outward aggression against what they fear within themselves. It's important to stay with your thoughts. Accepting and understanding them can reduce the stress and prevent the need for suppression and denial. In this audiobook, we're going to look back at many of the ideas we've talked about before. Stick with me, because the way we think about things and the thoughts we have affect what we do and don't do. We often get used to hiding our real thoughts and acting in certain ways to look good to others, which takes a lot of thinking and energy. Here's the truth. You are trying to escape from yourself. Your negative thoughts, which might seem strange or unusual, actually show that there's an unresolved issue or problem inside you. These thoughts come from an inner tension or struggle. If you can face these thoughts, you'll find new solutions and gain a new perspective on yourself and your life. Instead of trying to get away from your thoughts, see them as a way to make breakthroughs in your thinking. When we try to hide our true thoughts and feelings to appear better in the eyes of others, it uses up a lot of our mental energy. This effort can be exhausting and stressful, but the key point here is that by running away from our own thoughts, especially the negative ones, we are actually running away from understanding ourselves better. These negative thoughts, no matter how strange they seem, are signals that there's something inside us that needs attention. They are not just random, they are connected to unresolved problems or issues we have. By confronting these thoughts, we can uncover new solutions and insights. This helps us grow and see our lives from a new, more positive perspective. So rather than avoiding or ignoring your thoughts, try to understand them. They can be the source of significant breakthroughs in how you think and feel about yourself and your life. Embracing your thoughts, even the negative ones, can lead to a deeper understanding and personal growth. Now, you know that your thoughts can control your life. If you think about this, you might realize what often causes your problems. Your mind is always creating thoughts because that's what it does. Instead of just noticing these thoughts, we often focus on them too much and try to change them, or we push them away instead of accepting them as part of who we are and how we think. Now let's think about how this connects to the way we present ourselves to others. We often try to show a certain image to the world, a false version of ourselves that we think we need to be. This can relate to our negative thoughts. Do our negative thoughts reflect this fake image we try to show? The answer is yes. A lot of our actions are attempts to show the world a version of ourselves that is based on a wrong idea of who we should be. Our social self, or how we act around others, is meant to hide our negative thoughts and show the world a different version of who we really are. From a young age, we learn to feel ashamed or embarrassed by certain thoughts. Because of this, we spend a lot of time trying to hide these thoughts so that no one knows what we are thinking. We do this to avoid being judged, criticized, or punished for our thoughts or opinions. One way we hide our true thoughts is through rationalizations. This means we make excuses or reasons for our actions, often without even realizing it. When someone is trying to put on a front, you can usually tell. They don't seem genuine, and it feels like they're holding something back. There's a sense that something isn't quite right. So why do we try to present ourselves in a certain way? It's because we fear being judged for our true thoughts and feelings. We believe that by hiding our true selves, we can avoid criticism and be accepted by others. But this often leads to a lack of authenticity, making it clear that we are not being completely honest with ourselves or others. Now, when we talk about this perfect image, we try to paint of ourselves. We want others to see that we are okay, that everything in our life is going well. This is what we call the social self. There is a part of you that is always worried about what other people think of you. You might deny it, but it's always there. The more we try to convince others that we are okay and acceptable, the more we start to worry. This worry creates fears and anxieties. Example: imagine someone who is on a diet. They say they're eating less and really working hard to lose weight. But when they step on the scale, it shows a different story. Their idea of themselves is not what the scale shows. The scale gives a real objective measure of their weight, even though they try to present themselves differently. In the same way, our social self tries to present a version of us that might not match reality. We do this because we want to be seen as okay and acceptable by others. But this can create a lot of stress and anxiety because we are constantly worried about maintaining this perfect image. The truth is, the more we try to hide our true selves, the more difficult it becomes to feel truly at ease and authentic. Consider a more complicated example. Imagine a person who tries to make everyone believe that her life is perfect, even though something is wrong at home. The signs of her problems show up in her work or at school, in her attitude toward others, and even in her health. But she keeps acting like everything is fine so that no one notices the truth. A more common example is someone at work who doesn't know the answer to a question, but pretends to know by making up an answer. She could simply say, "I don't know." But she's worried about looking smart and being respected. She wants to maintain a good social image, so she pretends to know something she doesn't. We all know people like this, and we've all done this ourselves at times. We want to look good and be respected. We try hard to pretend we know something we don't in order to appear as someone we aren't. But often, the person doesn't realize the impact of this behavior. They are so focused on maintaining their social image that they miss the fact that pretending and hiding the truth creates more problems and stress in the long run. Saying "I don't know" is not only the truthful answer, but also shows self-confidence and honesty. It shows that she is comfortable with who she is. If she had said, "I don't know," people would have respected her more for being real. But because she made something up, she lost respect. People can sense when someone is not being truthful. By making up an answer, she essentially lied, which affects her integrity. Now, others may not trust her in the future and will wonder, is she making this up too? You might not be who you think you are. As human beings, we all want to look good to others in some way because of how we were raised and how society influences us. We often identify with an idea of ourselves that might not be true. We think this self-concept is who we are. We believe that if we act in a certain way, we will become the person others want us to be, and this act will hide the parts of ourselves that we think others might not like. This desire to look good and be accepted can lead us to act in ways that are not true to ourselves. Instead of being honest about what we know and don't know, we might pretend to be someone we're not. This can create a lot of stress and anxiety because we are constantly trying to keep up an image that isn't real. Over time, this can damage our relationships and our own sense of self-worth. Being honest and authentic, even when it means admitting we don't know something, is a much healthier and more respected way to live. The funny thing about all this is that it might not even be true. As I said before, maybe we aren't who we think we are. Maybe we are just acting to hide something that isn't real. When we try to seem like something we're not, we end up feeling fake or like a fraud. The same thing happens when anyone tries to be something they aren't. We can tell when someone is not being genuine. The main point is that we hide parts of ourselves or act a certain way because of what someone said to us when we were kids. Think about how important this is. Many people live their adult lives based on something they heard in childhood. It's amazing how much energy people use to cover up parts of themselves because of what a teacher or another kid said when they were 8 years old. But in reality, they might not be what they were told they were. This means that many of us are living with an idea of ourselves that isn't true. We spend a lot of time and effort trying to hide parts of ourselves because of something from the past. Instead of accepting and being who we really are, we let old words and ideas control our lives. Understanding this can help us realize that we don't have to keep living based on those old notions. We can choose to be our true selves, free from the false ideas we've carried for so long. When we spend so much energy and feel stressed trying to hide who we really are and be something else, we can't fully engage with the world. This ties back to the idea of having a vision of who we can be. Maybe all we are is potential, And we can only tap into that potential through the vision we create for ourselves in our minds and through our imaginations. When we put on a facade, it suggests that we have a negative view of ourselves. This means that people who experience fear, anxiety, or self-doubt often define themselves by their negative thoughts. Be careful about living with a self-concept based on fear. A person living a life full of fear and self-doubt might see themselves only in terms of negative thoughts. It's important to recognize that anyone can fall into the trap of defining themselves by their negative attributes. This is why we often hold on to a negative self-image or a fear-based mindset. It becomes a part of us, and we are reluctant to let it go. Instead of being driven by fear and negative thoughts, we should try to create a positive vision of ourselves and tap into our true potential. This way we can live more fully and authentically. We often identify ourselves by our negative traits, like saying, "I have anxiety." When we see ourselves this way, we cling to these negative thoughts because they shape our identity. We're afraid that without these thoughts, we won't know who we are. It feels like we must honor these negative thoughts and act as if they're true or even admirable. We start seeing the world from this negative viewpoint, believing it's our burden to carry. We think it's wrong to let go of these negative traits, as if giving them up means losing a part of ourselves. This is a good point to remember, especially if you see yourself in this situation. These negative attributes and perspectives are just thoughts that we created ourselves. They are illusions that support a negative image of ourselves. The sad part is that we don't realize we are reinforcing our own negative thoughts with these made-up stories. We've created a false negative image of ourselves that we are afraid to let go of. If you understand this pattern of thinking and how it shapes your self-image, you can start to change your perspective. Look at your current thoughts and ask yourself, is this really me? And is this who I want to be? Our self-image is a process made up of learned ideas and behaviors that become a mask. This doesn't mean your suffering, fears, self-doubts, or anxieties aren't real. You might be suffering, but recognizing that doubt, fear, and negative thoughts are learned means you can also unlearn them. I'm not talking about severe cases, but for many of us, our past suffering has become part of us, even though it doesn't have to be. We often hesitate to take risk because of ideas planted in our minds when we were very young. These ideas keep us stuck in old behavior patterns for decades. Do you want to keep living with these illusions that cause you to suffer or hold you back? Or do you want to choose who you truly are? This way of thinking you learned a long time ago might be stopping you from trying new things and becoming your best self. It's something that affects you, and you might not even realize how much, because you've lived with it for so long that it feels normal. You might believe you can't be or do certain things because of what someone told you about yourself, even if it wasn't true. And even if it was true back then, it might not be true anymore. But even if it is still true, so what? So let's ask the question again. Do you want to keep living with these ideas that someone put in your mind when you were a child, causing you to hold back and suffer for 20, 30, 40, or even 50 years? Think about it this way. If you're in your 30s, do you want to keep suffering because of something someone said to you when you were 6 years old for another 30 years? The answer should be no. Even for the next 30 minutes, the answer should be no. You have the power to choose who you are and what you do. You are not defined by what someone else thinks of you or what someone said you were. Understanding this is crucial for changing your life. You might not be who you think you are, and you aren't what someone else said you were either. Once you start to recognize the labels and ideas you've been given, you can begin to get rid of them. These labels are just thoughts, and more importantly, they are illusions because they aren't facts. The truth is, you are not your thoughts. You are not defined by what your thoughts say you are, even though you might act like it. You act a certain way because of a thought or idea you learned a long time ago. But you can choose to act based on new thoughts and ideas. This means you can start to reinvent yourself right now, not sometime in the future. You can develop new ideas about yourself immediately. You can create these ideas by envisioning the person you want to be and acting in a way that matches that vision, no matter what your old thoughts were. You have the power to transform yourself, starting right now. We started this audiobook by saying, accept life as it is. The important part here is, it is. This it is refers to reality. The problem is that we often don't see reality because we look at the world through a set of beliefs that act like lenses over our eyes. These lenses filter out things we don't understand or that don't fit our beliefs. They distort reality to match what we believe. When we see an event or hear someone speak, we only notice what we expect to see and hear. This is a powerful system, and most people don't think about it or understand it. Our belief system shapes how we interpret everything around us. It's like wearing glasses that change how we see the world, only showing us what fits with our beliefs. This means we might miss important details or misunderstand situations because they don't align with our expectations. Recognizing this can help us understand that our view of reality is often limited and distorted by our beliefs. By becoming aware of this, we can start to see life more clearly and accept it as it truly is, not just as we think it should be. This way of thinking can make people biased, unhappy, and rigid. If we don't question it, it can create a very limited view of the world. The worst part is that it keeps people stuck in their beliefs about their limitations. This belief system is so powerful that we might defend it fiercely, even to the point of arguing, fighting, and going to war. Since we all operate through our belief system, we could say that who you are and how you behave is based on an illusion you formed in the past. What you see happening around you is filtered through your beliefs. The lens through which you see the world might not be accurate or true. This is the illusion. The lens acts like a filter, blocking out things that don't match your current view of the world and only letting in what you believe to be true, even if that information is false. If you're not careful, you'll end up filtering out reality itself, which means you'll miss out on possibilities and opportunities. Recognizing this can help you understand that your view of the world is limited and sometimes distorted by your beliefs. By becoming aware of this, you can start to see more clearly and open yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities. To be free, it's important to realize that you have a filter that affects how you see reality. Understanding this gives you the power to reinvent yourself by changing your filter, which means adjusting your thoughts and beliefs. Imagine this. What if your filter didn't make you see the world through your limitations? What if you didn't view everything through a lens of self-doubt or fear? Instead, what if your filter showed you things that empowered you and gave you confidence? What if your filter only supported the belief, I can become anything I want to be? Do you think this would change how you act in the world? Of course it would. By changing your filter, you can transform how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. This new way of seeing the world can help you feel more empowered, confident, and capable of achieving your dreams. Wise people throughout history have shared this idea. We become what we think about. Earl Nightingale called this the strangest secret. When you change your filter, your thoughts and beliefs, you change your world. Changing your filter changes who you are in your world. Think about professional athletes in any sport. Do you think they see themselves as poor performers or incompetent? Do you think they enter a game or event expecting to do badly? Of course not. They see themselves as capable and skilled. They go in with confidence and a positive mindset, and that helps them perform well. This applies to anyone with talent. By adopting a positive filter, you can improve your performance and become the best version of yourself. Take some time to think about how you see the world. What have you decided is true for you? Are you getting what you want in life? The beliefs you've formed shape your self-concept, who you think you are. These beliefs act like lenses that filter the information you take in, shaping your view of the world based on your self-concept. This self-concept, which includes what you think about yourself and who you believe you are, guides your thoughts and actions. It has a big impact on how you live your life. To unlock your potential, you need to question the beliefs you have accepted as true right now. Your beliefs might be based on false information, creating the illusion that you can't do, be, or become something. By examining and challenging these beliefs, you can change your self-concept and open up new possibilities for yourself. If you understand the idea that you might be seeing your life through lenses that only show you your limitations, this could be what's holding you back. But here's the good news. You have the power to make big changes in your life because you can change these lenses whenever you want. Just as your mind has been fooled into accepting false beliefs, you can use your vision as a strong filter to help you get what you want. You can create new beliefs that trick your mind into seeing a positive picture based on your current desires. This means you can let go of the old self-image you formed when you were a child and build a new one that supports your goals and dreams. We often talk about Neville Goddard or Joseph Murphy and focus on a single scene we imagine to fight against all the beliefs we've built up over the years. This is why it's crucial to address this topic. The vision you create has great power. You can start developing this vision right now, in the next moment, and use it to move forward into the future. When you create your vision, it changes how you see things and opens up new possibilities and opportunities that you couldn't see before. So ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want to keep seeing the world through the lens you made when you were 8 years old? Or do you want to create a new future? Your future hasn't happened yet, and you aren't stuck being the same person you were yesterday. Any idea that your future will be less than what you want is just an illusion. If you keep acting and thinking the way you always have, you'll probably get the same results. But you can change your self-concept. Your vision is what you want for yourself. It's a picture in your mind, and if you focus on it long enough, it will shape how you see opportunities. This new way of seeing things will guide your actions to align with your vision. You get what you expect, and you become what you think about. Change your future by replacing old limiting beliefs with a picture of what you truly want. The future hasn't happened yet, so you can create a new target for your mind. This changes your path from following old predetermined ideas to moving toward new possibilities. Set a clear vision and let it guide you. You don't have to live based on false ideas formed in childhood. Recognize these old beliefs and make your mind work for you. Your mind is powerful, but you might not have been using it to its full potential. Instead, it may have been controlling you. Think about who you are and who you want to be. Ask yourself how you want to see the future. Are you basing your future on old negative thoughts from the past? Or can you see a future based on a positive image of what you want, supported by new, positive thoughts about yourself? These questions are key to reinventing yourself. Why do I keep talking about the importance of your thoughts? The reason is that who you are right now isn't because of some mysterious force working against you. You are where you are because of your own thinking. The life you are living is based on beliefs and thoughts that might not even be true. The fears, doubts, worries, jealousies, and angers you have experienced are all based on illusions. If you think you are stuck in the future because of your past experiences, that belief itself is an illusion. What I want to do is help you create a new, better illusion, one that you choose for yourself. The way you are now, including your fears and doubts, was shaped by what you have experienced, what you have been told, or how you were treated. If you spent your life doubting your abilities, you created a way of being based on that doubt. If you were afraid of being laughed at, you created a way of living that revolves around that fear. The key thing to understand is that all of these fears and doubts are illusions. They are not real. For example, you might have been afraid as a child, but when you look for that fear now, you can't find it because it's just a memory in your mind. It isn't the reality of who you are now. What I'm trying to show you is that you can change these old false beliefs and create new ones that serve you better. You have the power to choose new thoughts and beliefs that will lead you to a better future. Most people understand that the future is an illusion, because it hasn't happened yet. But when I say the past is also an illusion, people often disagree. They say, "But this happened to me, and he did that, and they said this." Yes, these events did happen, but they are all in the past. They are just memories in your mind, and these memories can be distorted. Research shows that strong emotions create strong memories, while weaker emotions form weaker memories. This is why feelings are so important. Strong emotions make certain memories stand out more clearly. Scientists call this arousal theory. When you have a strong emotional experience, your body releases neurotransmitters and hormones that strengthen the memory. So, while your past experiences did happen, the way you remember them can be influenced by the emotions you felt at the time. This means your memories might not be completely accurate. Understanding this can help you realize that both your past and your future are shaped by your mind, and you have the power to change how you see them. Human memory, even very vivid ones like flashbulb memories, can be unreliable. In fact, memory can be so fragile that a person can be convinced an event happened to them even when it didn't. This doesn't mean nothing happened to you. Yes, things did happen, but the way you remember them might be keeping you stuck. There is no rule that says you can't let go of these memories, and the past does not have to dictate your future. The important thing is that you can create a new life of your choosing. You can start living based on your vision now and not wait for the future. This new way of living will also be based on an illusion, but it will be one you created as an adult, not something you imagined when you were a child. Would you rather be the person you dreamed up as a child, or the person you consciously choose to be now? This isn't about denying your past. It's about making a conscious choice to shape your future. These ideas are essential for living the life you want. You have the power to let go of old memories that hold you back and create new, positive visions for your future. By doing this, you take control of your life and move towards the person you want to become. Most people don't believe that getting rid of the illusions holding them back is all they need to do. They think their future is already decided. That's why I'm emphasizing these ideas. What you think about the future is in your mind. It hasn't happened yet. Nothing is predestined or predetermined. Your future isn't set in stone unless you make it so in your mind. Another common belief is that you need to get rid of fears and self-doubt before creating a vision for your future, thinking that waiting will be more honest or better. This is also an illusion. People often think they'll be better off at some point in the future, like, "When I get my degree, that's when I will start living," or "Someday I will show them and they'll be sorry." But these are just illusions. Understand the illusions you have based on the past, and you'll see more clearly that who you think you are has nothing to do with the present reality. You'll also see how these illusions cause you to hesitate or even stop. You need to realize that there really is no past. The past is an illusion based on how you interpreted events, which are now just memories stored in your brain or the universal mind. These memories may have been held for many years and believed to be true and real, but they are still just interpretations. By recognizing these illusions, you can free yourself from them and create a new vision for your future. You don't have to wait for some future event to start living the life you want. You can start now by changing your thoughts and beliefs. This conscious choice is crucial for living the life you truly desire. As Neville Goddard taught, it's possible that your life started today, and everything you remember is just a program that was uploaded into you. You think you've lived and experienced all these things, but the only real moment is now. Many people live their lives seeking approval or acceptance from their parents, society, their boss, a group they belong to, or some authority figure. They believe that if they act a certain way, they'll be accepted and okay. This is an illusory way of living. Emerson said, "Your genuine action will explain itself and will explain your other genuine actions. Your conformity explains nothing." True courage comes from being yourself, and not just conforming to what others expect. Living based on seeking approval is an illusion. Instead, focus on being true to yourself in the present moment, as this is the only reality. Stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to live your life. Stop waiting for something to happen in the future. The future won't free you from the past. Focus on the present moment. Choose what you want right now. Stop waiting and start living according to your vision in the next moment. This means take action now. Waiting for the future is just another excuse. You stay stuck that way. There is no future to wait for. All you have is now. You might imagine the future, but it hasn't happened yet. Keep in mind that any picture you have of the future is just something you made up in your mind. It's important to realize that your mind will try to make whatever future image you have come true, whether it's based on past experiences or your hopes. Your mind will show you everything that matches your future image and even give you a plan to get there. However, it's essential to understand that you're already okay as you are right now. You can change your future by imagining a new picture of it and realizing that you only have the present moment to live in. Each new moment gives you a chance to make changes and break free from the past. The next moment is the closest you will ever get to the future. Nothing happens in the past and nothing happens in the future. Everything happens right now. The present moment is the only time you have. You cannot change the past or take action in the past. You can change how you think about the past and how you react to it, which can feel like changing the past, but it's really about changing your memory and response. You also cannot take action in the future, but you can imagine it. When the future arrives, it becomes the present moment. You might be waiting for the perfect time in the future to take action, thinking that tomorrow you'll be okay or better. But there's no perfect future moment when everything will be just right. This is the trap of waiting. It's very important to understand this. Don't think that where you are going is more important than where you are right now. Having a vision of who you want to be in the future is only useful for guiding what you do now, instead of letting past ideas and beliefs shape you. The perfect future moment never arrives. So when we talk about the future, we don't mean that you'll be okay when you get there. You are already okay. You are already fine. You are already perfect as you are right now. The reason for having a vision or a future goal is to help you break free from the past and start living fully in the present, knowing you are already okay. What I'm saying is that you are already complete and don't need any improvement. You are okay just as you are. Understand this concept and live with the belief that you are already whole. You don't have to wait for anything to feel okay. You are okay right now. Stop chasing unrealistic goals or trying to satisfy yourself with things outside of you to feel okay. In a sense, there is no separate self, just as the past is gone, leaving only memories. The future never arrives as we imagine it. There is only the present moment, and you are okay now. This is a Zen-like way of living that focuses on having a certain perspective on life and the present moment. It means there's nothing to search for because you already have everything you need. Instead, you have a vision of the future. This vision is like a pair of glasses that gives you a way to see and understand the present. The vision of the future serves as a guide for how to act right now. It helps you know what to do in the present to move toward your future goals. So, while you're living in the present, your vision of the future shows you the way forward. You need to find something in the future to aim for, then view the present from that future perspective. Use your future vision to guide how you live now, helping you become what you seek by focusing on the present. In other words, you are already okay, and you have within you a spiritual essence, whether you think of it as a Buddhist self, a Jesus self, or a Muhammad self. In Christian terms, the kingdom of heaven is within you, and you don't need to change yourself by seeking more. You just need to shift your thinking from focusing on an imaginary past and future to living fully in the present, guided by your vision for the future. The past is not the same as the future or the present. Life principles are beliefs you learned early on that became rules for how to live. They shape how you see the world. Life principles can include ideas like Big boys don't cry. Men shouldn't show their feelings. Women should be good at cooking and cleaning. I should never show any weakness. Don't rely on people. Or I have to be perfect. These are beliefs that influence your attitudes and behaviors, guiding how you act and see things. There are rules that have been handed down to us, like, we always have ham on Christmas, or ones we made up based on past experiences, like, I will never do that again. These rules can stop you from living your life fully. If you follow these rules, are you truly enjoying the present moment? Are you really enjoying your relationships? Are you holding back because you're afraid of the past? If you think you must stick to these old rules because of what happened before, then you're probably not enjoying life and all it has to offer. These rules can limit your ability to fully experience and appreciate life. Remember that the past is not the same as the future or the present. Many life principles are based on ideas meant to protect ourselves, but these can turn into strict rules that limit how we act. Some of these rules we are aware of, and some we are not, but both can hold us back. Resistance starts when people encounter obstacles and can't achieve what they want. These self-protective ideas can make it hard for us to function fully and reach our goals. Understanding this can help us break free from these limitations and live more freely. View resistance as a chance to learn more about what's holding you back, what's making you doubt yourself, and why you fall back into old habits. Ask yourself these questions to find out what's stopping you and why you are being self-protective. What is it about your way of thinking, acting, or behaving that makes you so self-protective? What self-protective ideas do you have? Are you afraid someone will discover something about you? Do you have a secret part of yourself you're hiding? By exploring these questions, you can understand the reasons behind your self-protection and start to address them. This can help you break free from old patterns and live more openly and confidently. Have you ever thought about how you listen to people? Do you sometimes get so focused on protecting yourself that you don't fully hear what they're saying? Think about how you see things. Are there certain ways you look at the world that limit you and the opportunities you can see? What are the beliefs you have about your limitations that hold you back from creating new opportunities for yourself? How can you be more open to all the possibilities that life has to offer? Changing a long-held belief is challenging. You've lived with it for so long that it feels like a part of you. When you try to control your thoughts and the rules you live by, it can cause stress and make these thoughts even stronger. This happens because these thoughts are tied to a larger set of life principles that keep you stuck in a cycle. This cycle makes you keep trying to fit your life into a certain mold, preventing you from seeing new ways of being in the world. When you realize that your old life principles are not helping you become the person you want to be, don't just try to change or get rid of them. Instead, create a new set of life principles and start living by them. For example, you can reinvent yourself by adopting new beliefs like, I make a difference in the world, I am okay, the world supports me in getting what I want, I'm an excellent public speaker, or I am a world-class tennis player. Start acting as if these new principles are already true and accurate. Imagine waking up every day and telling yourself that you make a difference in the world. How would that change your actions and your attitude? If you believe that you are okay just as you are, you might feel more confident and less stressed. If you adopt the belief that the world supports you in getting what you want, you may start to see more opportunities around you and take more chances. Believing that you are an excellent public speaker might encourage you to take on more speaking engagements and improve your skills. If you see yourself as a world-class tennis player, you might train harder and compete more seriously. By living according to these new principles, you begin to change your behavior and mindset. This can lead to new opportunities and a more fulfilling life. The key is to consistently act as if these new principles are true, and over time, they will become a natural part of who you are. To reinforce your core life principles, make sure to create smaller, supporting statements. Say these statements out loud and write them in a goal book every morning to help ingrain them in your subconscious mind. Despite this practice, you will still encounter situations that trigger fear, panic, and anxiety. When these moments happen, try to remain calm and let the feelings pass. Remember, you don't need to react as if your life is in immediate danger. Instead, recognize that these scary thoughts are a natural response to events and not a sign of personal failure or imperfection. Embrace them as part of life's normal ups and downs. Imagine your scary and reactive thoughts as just a part of the world you live in. They are what they are. You don't have to give these thoughts or scary events any extra meaning, interpretation, or energy. You can change how you view things. You can choose to see the world as a place where everything is okay. You can believe that you are already successful and that everything will turn out fine for you. When you see things from these new perspectives, you won't feel the need to hide your feelings or thoughts because you're afraid people might find out you're not the person you appear to be. Instead, you'll be more comfortable being yourself and expressing your true thoughts and feelings. To become our true selves and reach our full potential, we often need the help of others. This is like building a support system, something we've talked about before. The problem is that we're often afraid to ask for help. Many people secretly believe that they have to do everything on their own without any support. This is a common mindset for almost everyone. Society teaches us what is right and wrong, and one of these lessons is that we must be self-sufficient. We are taught to be brave and handle everything by ourselves. This makes us hesitant to ask for help or seek support from others. Another reason we don't ask others for help is that we are afraid of being rejected. This fear can really hold you back. We often expect that people will say no, and we see this as a rejection. Naturally, no one likes being told no, but we can change how we think about it. When someone says no, it doesn't mean you should stop trying or give up. You have the power to see the word no as a helpful message. It's like the universe is telling you, this person isn't the right one to help you. Try asking someone else. So just keep asking until you find the person who says yes. To make changes and achieve our goals, we need to rely on others who can help us. This brings us to something many people avoid, building a support network. We often ask the wrong people for help or advice. These people can't give us what we need because they lack the right tools, experience, expertise, or time. Sometimes we ask for advice when we really just want someone to reassure us about what we're already planning to do. To create a strong support network, it's important to seek out the right people who can truly help us and offer valuable guidance. This way, we can better achieve our goals and make the changes we want in our lives. Don't ask someone for advice if you know they will always agree with you. Also, don't ask for advice from someone who doesn't have the right experience. Be aware that some people may not want you to succeed because it makes them feel unsuccessful, and they might try to discourage you. Think about the specific help you need and see if your friends can provide it. If they can't, don't be afraid to look beyond your circle of friends for support. Help often comes from unexpected people and places, so keep an open mind and be willing to reach out to others who might be able to assist you. You can't do everything by yourself. You need the support of others. Let people in and share your vision, but do it for the right reasons, not to seek validation. Share your vision with the right people, those who are experts in your field or in the areas you want to reach. When you share your vision, be open to their help. Listen to their opinions and ideas and appreciate their willingness to support you. They might notice things about you that you don't see. Pay attention to their perspective and think about how they can support you on your journey. The main idea in your journey and personal growth is to see the importance of asking others for help. It's important to understand that asking for support is valuable and that you shouldn't hold back because you're worried about their reaction or possible rejection. When you ask for help, you're also giving others a chance to feel useful and empowered. There are many people willing to help. This doesn't mean you should ask everyone, but it's good to let people in and allow them to support you. Think about it this way. How can people help each other if no one wants to be helped? What we've been talking about is looking at your life in a new way by letting go of old beliefs and ideas that hold you back. These old beliefs can trap you in a cycle where you keep doing things that make you anxious and stop you from trying new things or choosing what you really want. This cycle keeps you from becoming who you are meant to be. When you replace these old beliefs with new ones and start moving toward your goals, you are in what I call the gap. This is the space between where you are now and where you want to be. When you change your old beliefs for new ones and start working towards your goals, you're in a place called the gap. This gap is the space between where you used to be and where you want to be, and it is always there. You will spend most of your time in this gap. Living in this in-between space can be uncomfortable. You haven't fully let go of your old ways yet, and you're not completely living by your new beliefs. The moment you set a goal or have a vision, you enter the gap. Every step you take toward your goal means you are living in the gap, which becomes your main area of growth and change. The gap is a place of uncertainty and the unknown. Many of us avoid the gap because it feels uncomfortable. We don't like taking risk. Uncertainty makes us uneasy. We want to be sure that everything will work out and that we will be okay. We want to know that something will succeed before we even try. We seek reassurance. The gap won't give you that reassurance, but it will teach you how to handle uncertainty. This place will become where you spend most of your time. By committing to change, you become who you want to be. You step out onto the edge of the gap, moving beyond your comfort zone to discover your talents and gifts. When you decide to pursue a big goal, you can see the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. In this gap, everything is uncertain. We don't know how things will turn out or if we will succeed. No one can reassure us, and it won't feel comfortable. All we can do is take the next right step forward. However, there is some comfort in knowing that you are working towards your vision. By committing to your goal, you find a sense of purpose. This is where you unlock your potential by doing everything you can to make your vision a reality. The gap is a place where you stop trying to hide your weaknesses and start discovering your hidden talents. It's a space where you become more compassionate, start truly listening to others, and reach out for support. In this gap, you keep asking what's missing so you can create the outcomes you want. This is also where you will face breakdowns. Breakdowns are the things that don't work out. However, these breakdowns are part of the process of getting better and moving toward your goals. The gap is also where you will have breakthroughs. Breakthroughs are the things that do work out because of the improvements you're making. It's important to remember that whenever you make a change or do something different, you are living in the gap. Living in the gap means doing things you've never done before, and this often leads to breakdowns. When you commit to a new, bigger vision of what you want and who you want to be, you are living in a state of breakdown. This isn't negative or bad. For example, if you say, I am going to become a doctor, or I'm going to quit my job or end this relationship and do something else, or I'm going to become fit, you're in a state of breakdown because you haven't yet achieved your goal. You are in the process of making it happen, and that process is what living in the gap is all about. To be clear, everything you do to reach your goal will bring you closer to your vision, but you are always in a state of breakdown until you get there. This can be scary for most people because we try to avoid uncertainty. No one likes living in uncertainty. However, you can deal with it by embracing it. You can handle discomfort by accepting it. I'm saying that you can embrace this state of breakdown. You can only learn and grow by being in breakdown. When you embrace breakdowns, you can achieve breakthroughs. These breakthroughs will move you forward toward your vision. By mastering breakdowns, you start to have breakthroughs. By mastering breakdowns, you begin to tap into your potential, the hidden resources within you that you haven't used yet. Yes, you will feel anxious at times. Yes, there will be scary moments, especially if you tend to focus on the negative and see risk instead of opportunities. This is especially true if you were taught by your parents to always look for the downside. The nervous feeling in your stomach, the uncertainty, and not seeing immediate results are all part of the process. Allow yourself to feel this distress and discomfort. Use techniques like relaxing, breathing exercises, and meditation. Develop affirmations. Keep a journal to record your experiences. Over time, you will learn to use anxiety as a helpful signal. Become a neutral observer of your feelings because you are choosing who you want to be and shaping who you are. Anxiety doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Instead of going back to your old ways because you feel anxious, understand that anxiety is normal. It's happening because you are in the gap. Try to ride out the stress and keep moving forward, living according to your new vision. Develop habits that help you handle anxiety, like using relaxation techniques. Remember, you will never be completely free of anxiety, but you don't need to make it worse by reacting to it. Understand that anxiety is a sign that you are alive and growing. The next time you feel scared or have frightening images or negative thoughts in your mind, try this approach. First, when you're feeling scared, take a moment to really look at that feeling and think about your goals. Ask yourself if you are truly scared or if you are just having scary thoughts. Remember, these scary thoughts are a normal part of being in a transition period. Feeling scared often means you are more alive than before. It shows that you are taking actions and doing things that seem risky. This is a natural part of getting used to living in the space between where you used to be and where you want to go. Now that you understand this, you can change these feelings of fear and possible failure into feelings of excitement and commitment. It is important to understand that part of the problem with your experiences comes from how you interpret them. Your interpretations can be problematic, not because of the actual events, but because they are shaped by your personal filters, beliefs, and life principles. These act as a lens through which you see the world. If you can understand how your interpretations affect your perspective and feelings, you can change them. Start by changing how you interpret things to create positive images about your experiences instead of negative ones. This shift will make your feelings and reactions empowering rather than disabling. You have the ability to tell the difference between facts and your interpretations. By focusing on positive interpretations, you can change how you feel and react, turning your experiences into sources of strength and confidence. You are built to handle facts and reality. However, the challenge for all of us is that our memories are so strong that we often believe they are the same as facts and reality. But our memories are based on how we interpret things. They are not the actual facts. These memories are like complex stories that we create, often influenced by some upsetting experiences we had when we were children. These events and how we interpreted them affect how we see reality now. We shape our reality by what we do and think, but we also interpret the reality we live in. How we interpret our reality is just as important as the reality itself. Understanding this can help us see that our memories and interpretations can be changed to create a more positive and empowering view of our lives. If you practice telling the difference between facts, your body's responses, your emotional reactions, your interpretations, and your beliefs, you can start to see things more clearly. Your life principles and filters shape how you see the world, but you can create a new set of life principles, beliefs, and filters. If you make these changes and create a broader perspective, you can start to see tough situations as chances for growth and action. By going through this process of changing your old filters and beliefs, you will understand that you need to take steps to move into this new way of thinking. You can watch what happens without judgment and interpret things correctly. This way, you can choose who you want to be, and your potential becomes unlimited. You are whoever you choose to be. Your past does not define you. Thank you for listening.